the opportunity and say that every time I hear the word gracious, I think of I think I have my grandmother used to say, gracious me, and gracious you, people, for coming in today. And between the holidays, I find this actually. I used to find it kind of a, I'm not going to say a depressing time, but everything's moving so fast, and you want to get things done, but nobody seems to care. I kind of turn that around in my mind, and I find that. I always take my vacations though in this period of time, but and that's already in the past. But then I love to prepare and set myself up for the coming year, and that's kind of hoping. I was kind of hoping to put that mentality into your head, uh, because if you haven't achieved where you wanted to go this year with your trading, if you haven't or if you've gotten part of the way and not all the way, or you didn't get anywhere at all, I think I've got some answers for you, because the idea of earning 90% of the profit where you don't have any risk to your own money, your risk is your time in this. And when this is something called prop trading. I won't go through super detailed. I will give you some definitions and so on of prop trading, but whether you've been prop trading and struggling with your prop trading to get qualified, I think I found a way to help you to do that. I know that I have. I've already qualified for 6 funded accounts, and got 2 more on the edge of qualification. I want to show you how I did that today, and why I think it's important for any trader, especially traders who are trading under $50,000 or $100,000, especially those that are trading $5,000 and $10,000 and $20,000, to really consider jumping into what is called prop trading, where you actually trade their money, the prop trading firm's money, and you're given 90% of the profit. In fact, the firm I'm working through in my work with prop trading, I'm getting 100% of the first 25,000 that I generate. So I'm going to talk about how you can do that, how it all happens. So let's get into it. We've only got an hour to do this. Really want to give you a lot of tips, and I want to give you a great offer at the end to work with me personally to get you. We'll work together to get you funded. I've called this trading or this particular presentation a few different things over the last few months that I've been giving it, but I've packed it all into this particular presentation for you so that you can kind of get a real feel for whether you want to spend the next couple of months, or at least the next couple of weeks, really just learning about what this is, and specifically if you already don't know, and then going for it next year using somebody else's money to trade and getting 90% of the profit. All right, let's move right into the presentation for you. What I'll be covering today are the pros and cons of prop trading. Listen, everything has the pros and everything has the cons when you look at things. I want to show you at least my perspective of the pros and the cons. I want to answer the question, how can prop firms give 90% of the profit to traders? I mean, how can they? Come on. Why would they even do that? I mean, I think most people would be very happy with a 50-50 split. I know I was a commodity trading advisor for a few years after I left Payne Weber, and I found that, and I was getting 20% of the profit of the money I was trading for well-endowed individuals. It was accounts of 250,000 or more, and I was making 20% of what I earned for them, and I was very happy with that situation. But 90%, I mean, why on earth would they do that? I'll also be talking about 2 secrets, for lack of a better term. Secrets is kind of nobody talks about them. I guess that's a secret on passing the prop trading evaluation. You got to pass it, and then when you pass it, it's a little bit more freewheeling when you're actually trading it. So I want to show you what's going on there, and I want to show you those 2 secrets that I think I know will accelerate your qualifying for it. The last one I qualified for was 7 days. The first one was 10 days, and there was a 22-day one in the middle where I tried a few things. But I realized that what I was doing before with another twist had me qualify even faster. So it doesn't take long when you know what you're doing. Okay. Comparison of the prop firms. There are a lot of prop firms out there. I mean, it's very attractive to believe that they're going to pay you 90% of the profit and you take none of the financial risk. It sounds very attractive, and when anything like that, and when anything is that attractive, you're going to get some firms in there that you don't want to be going with, that may or may not be here tomorrow. So I want to, I did a comparison. I'm going to show you the comparison of the top firms out there, why I've arrived at one or two of them that I think you should be focusing on if you're going to do this. I know I've had success with it, and others have too. The reasons for the comparisons, I'm going to show you what they are. And those are the four things that we're going to cover here. Okay, a little bit about me. I was known in the first really 15, 20 years of my career as the guy who put together trading plans. I ran a large, one of the largest option firms in the country in the 1980s, in the early and mid 80s. Became a commodity trading advisor soon after that. I worked for Payne Weber for a while. There's the International Trading Group, the option firm. I formed my own IB where I was trading other people's money, as I mentioned to you, through my own IB, where I also made money through the transactions. I mean, why not? It's America, right? The last 15 years has been really focused on the mental and emotional capabilities of traders, which really is the missing piece. That's where I'm really known for, not only as a trader, but somebody who focuses on the mental and emotional piece. I've partnered with many of the firms that you've probably seen or worked with in the past to handle their mental and emotional capabilities of their traders. But in the last few years, the last 2 years, 3 years, I've been getting into back into trading plans, making what I call simple trading plans. I've just noticed that most trading plans are much, much too complicated, and simplicity really is the way to go when it comes to handling your emotion and actually accuracy in the market. Conflicting indicators can be some of the worst things that can happen to a trader. In any event, I've got something called simple trading plans, and my latest simple trading plan called Loaded Gun, which is likely the best I've ever created. This one of the simplest and one of the most effective, and really zooms in on passing these evaluations and getting funded and then earning money from there. 90% of what you earn. That's been my focus. That particular trading plan, literally for the last year. So we meet every last Wednesday of the month to and all of us have our little boxes on Zoom where we meet and talk about our successes and any questions that new people can have about the process. So these are just some of this is what they give you. This is Apex, which is the firm that I arrived at, that I trade through. I did trade for a while through Top Step, another good firm. So these two firms are the ones that I like, that I've measured and like to see. I'd like to see you consider when you're prop trading. But these are when you pass a funding, when you pass the qualification, they send you a little certificate, which is kind of nice. And I've got one other here that I haven't posted, and Top Step does the same thing. This one here is one that I hang on my wall. It's the first $1,000 that I asked them to send me from my profit. You don't have to take all your profit every month. You can leave it in there and keep it as a cushion when you trade. And I just asked for $1,000. I've asked for several since then, but but just like whenever I had a retail operation in the early days of my life, the first dollar I would take to the wall. And so that's really my first $1,000 that I earned through. And that's what it looks like. They give you another little certificate of payment. They want to keep encouraging you. And they want you, they want you to refer other people, like I'm kind of doing to you. But there's a reason they do that, because they're making plenty of money. And here's how they do it. I'm going to give you an overview of the pros and the cons. Okay, prop trading firms, they're going to fund you for $50,000, $100,000, $300,000. I'll show you some of those increments in a second. Most of them are about the same, and you're going to earn anywhere from 70, 75, 90%, depending on which firm you go with. Okay, here are the pros. It's their money and your profit. I mean, I don't know how to better. I don't know how to better say it, but I just could not believe it when I first saw it, and I'm thinking, how do they do that? And when I saw what they were doing, I said, wow, why didn't I think of this? Because they're making plenty of money while giving you the opportunity to make plenty of money. There's just no there's no other game like this I've seen in this whole arena. I'm calling it a game. I'm being a little facetious, but this opportunity is tremendous. And I want to urge you to really consider this, okay? Millions are being paid out, okay? The prop trading firm that I go through paid out 1.9 million, almost $2 million in February of this year, then 2.2 million, then 3 million. They were growing every month. And the last couple of months, I haven't seen these numbers yet in October and November, but 7,700, over 9,000, actually 9,100 last month. So, you know, when you're getting these kinds of payouts from a firm and they're growing like this is one of the indicators that I felt that Apex may be the one that you may want to go to, as I've decided Apex or Top Step. Okay, and again, that's the thing I have hanging on my wall. But it's just a word about leverage. What's interesting is that one of the things they'll allow you to do is overtrade in the evaluation accounts. Because if you bust out the account, if you lose too much money while you're trying to make the amount of money that you need to make, for instance, in a $50,000 account, you need to make $3,000 before you lose $2,500. Okay, from the high that you've created in that account. So 3,000, but to simplify, $3,000 before you lose $2,500. Okay, but you can get there pretty fast in the futures market. Now, what I'm talking to you today is about the futures market. The vast majority of these prop trading firms operate in the futures market. And I think it's the best way to do that. There are some that do options. There are some, I think, that still do Forex. And I don't know much about them, haven't compared them. My love has always been the futures market. It's the good bang for the buck. And I wanted to just mention something about the margins. Generally, if you were to take on, say, a contract in the S&P, the E-mini, you'd have to, your margin would be somewhere between $15,000 per contract to maybe $25,000, depending on the volatility when it gets really wild. So, you know, with a $50,000 account that you'd be testing for, you could take on possibly 2, maybe 3 contracts there. But in this particular, in prop trading, Apex and other firms will let you take on, they limit the number of contracts, not the margin. They don't look at margin. You can take as many as 10 contracts in a $50,000 account, meaning that you can take on 10 S&P contracts, which would be crazy in a $50,000 account. But they do that because they're charging you fees, not per trade, but they're charging you fees for establishing an account, busting out, and reestablishing an account. And I'm going to get that to in a second. So there's always an invitation to overtrade, and that's not a good thing. So you need to muster up your rules and play this the way you should be playing it, which is trading responsibly. Okay, so let me show you what some of the cons are. Okay, and there aren't many. In fact, there aren't many at all. I almost don't call these cons at all in comparison to what you're getting as an opportunity to make 90% of the money on much larger accounts than you may be trading right now, and risking nothing. So there are fees during the evaluation stage. For instance, in that $50,000 account I'm talking about, it's either anywhere from $16.70 a month to $167 a month. Normally, it's $167 a month, but Apex always runs specials, and they're running one right now, and it's 90% off. I'm going to give you the link in a second. 90% off, and so right now you would have a monthly fee evaluating for a $50,000 account. You'd have a monthly fee of $16.70, and if it took you 3 months I'm sorry, the first month is 90% off. The second month and any any month after that is 80% off. So the first month would be $16.70. The second month would be about $34, $35. Okay, and the third month and the fourth month, $35. And how many months you need to pass the evaluation? Okay, so and they run these specials all the time, 70, 80, 90%. But even if it is 167, it's worth it to test for something where you could be making 90% of the profit trading at 50,000. I'm just comparing the two, the $16.70 to what 90% of the profit you can generate. So there's the monthly fees. See, they know that 90% of traders will not pass the evaluation, not because of any other reason than they know that 90% of traders fail. They may pass the evaluation, but when they get funded, they won't be able to keep that funding because they'll lose too much there too. So you need to be a disciplined trader, okay? But it's easier to be a disciplined trader when the pressure is not on you so much, when you're not spending, when you're not using speculative capital that maybe you really shouldn't be using, or that are on the edge of what you shouldn't be using. Keep it, do what you want with it, hold on to it, use it as a savings account and trade their money. That's a much better idea. And it brings the cortisone level. Again, I'm the guy with the mental and emotional, right? So it brings that cortisol level right down so that you can follow a trading plan, especially if it's a simple one. There are also reset fees. When you bust out that account, when you lose $2,500 in that $50,000 account, you got to reset it. And right now that reset, it's usually $80, but they run specials on that all the time. $80, sometimes they'll run a 50% off, so it'll be $40. But in this environment, if I busted out an account today, I would just close that account and open a new one for $16.70. So you can toy around with the fees a little bit, but even at full fees, $167, $80 to reset fees, if you pass and you start trading and you make profit, if you're a decent trader, and getting to be a decent trader is a lot less expensive than the losing that you're probably doing right now with your own money. I know that it is, okay? I work with traders one-on-one every day. 90% of traders fail. This is why they do this. They want me to bring you in. They want me to show you all the money that I'm making with them and all the success that I'm having with them, to bring you in, because they know that 9 out of 10 of the people that I bring in are just going to pay fees. Okay, so they love and that's really why they're giving away 90% of the money, because they want to get some good traders in there to give them testimonials, to bring in all the other traders that are going to fail because they don't have the mental and emotional capabilities to do it, or they're not willing to do that. I'm here to tell you that if you have ever thought that you could be a pretty good trader, even a pretty good trader, doing it this way really could be your answer from a standpoint of bringing that mental and emotional capability into play if you've had trouble doing that. Now, after you pass, see this 80 and this 130? This is what you're presented with. When I pass the 100 or the 80 or the $50,000 account, I pass the $50,000 qualifying account, and they give me two choices. At that point, they say you can either pay $80 a month from here on in, no other costs. Okay, pay us $80 a month, or you can pay us $130 lifetime. One time, $130. I always choose the $130 because I got pretty good confidence in my ability to stay afloat and continue making money. But that's it. I paid $100. I don't pay for data feed. I don't pay for Ninja Trader. I don't pay for that's all included, even in the qualifying part. This 150 and 2 1/4 here. This is for when I pass the 150s. I've given two choices. Either I can pay $150 a month while I'm earning 90%, or I can pay $225 one time. Okay. Now, why do they do that? Why do they only add whatever $75? Because they know a lot of people will never get past the first, and so they want that extra $75. So, I don't want to dig too deeply into that. I'm just saying that most traders that come to the table here have the ability to make at least a little bit of money trading. Many can do very well, and some can do extremely well, and they haven't experienced that yet for themselves because of the pressure of trading your own money and what that can do. So these are the cons, but are they really cons? I mean, you're getting the opportunity to trade 150, 300,000, 50,000, whatever it is. I like you to start with 50 because 50 is the easiest to pass, and it's easier to get paid the first time. Okay, I want them to shoot that 90% into your checking account like they do mine, and I want you to. And once that happens, it all comes clear for you that this is something that could be a lifetime literal business that I can create by having many accounts. Now I've mentioned that I have four $50,000 accounts, and I'm about to have four $150,000. Why would I have so many of these accounts? Well, because there are also ways that you can, if you consider it as a long-term business, okay, if you think of you handle it as a long-term business, if you happen to blow out one or two accounts, you still have 4 or 5 or 6 to be earning money from. So all of these are streams of income. You've heard the importance of multiple streams of income. You can do it here. And in fact, you can trade a different strategy for each one more aggressive, one less aggressive. I would rather see you find the right strategy and just hit on that and move around your exposure, your position sizing, okay, which we can talk about at some later date. I wanted to show you here just a quick chart. It was on a napkin that I didn't do it in color, but I didn't color here for you. This is really a pictorial version of what you're probably losing right now if you're not a successful trader, if you're on the edge. You're with prop trading. This is you. This is your losing chart. This is the money, and this is time. Okay, the x-axis is time. The y-axis is money, and you can see how we're going down steadily as we're paying $80 or $30 fees or whatever you've got, $50 discount or a 50% discount or the 90% or 80%, whatever it is. You're paying those fees every month. You're paying reset fees, and you're losing money. But this is all you're losing. You know, it's all you're losing. Here, this is the path you've been on now, where you make a little and you lose some of your own money, and then you're losing a lot of money, and you're wondering whether this is for you. You're spending time doubting yourself and your capabilities rather than what would be going on here, where the personal losses really are not there from a financial standpoint, at least to this depth, of course. And you're constantly being able to say, hey, if I change this, I can do it. But that this is not for me, and this is not going to happen for me. Look at all the money I'm losing is not in your face all the time. Okay, you got to take the pressure off in trading, and this way of doing it is a tremendous. I think it's the best thing that ever happened to the small trader. And the crazy part about it is at least half of the people that we deal with one-on-one, helping them pass and so on, are not small traders. They're traders that are already trading $100,000 and $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, and they're saying, why should I trade my own money when I can trade their money? So this is really for everybody. But this kind of napkin, I kind of had it in my head. I thought I'd show it to you. Here is, I took 7 prop firms. I met a person who was doing some other work for me, and he's also doing his own prop trading. And I call him the young kid. I'm going to guess he's 24 years old, but he's very, very smart, and he's already been earning money with prop trading. And I asked him I paid him to take a look at what he considered, and I gave him a couple of, I told him about Surge Trader and Trading Pit, and I wanted him to compare these prop trading firms with each other to come out with what was the best one. We know how much they have to make, what's the drawdown line, how long have they been in business, right? Have they been increasing payouts? How long have they been in business and increasing payouts? These are 2 of the most important comparisons that I had made. Anyway, instead of going through all this, I can send this to anybody who wants it. If you can find my email on my site, The Disciplined Trader, you can find the contact. I'll send this to you if you want. But here's the winner. The winner was Apex, and I mentioned Top Step because they're right behind Apex. They paid out $19 million, not in the last 90 days, but I put this particular presentation, the first version of it 2 months ago. So, but in September, they paid out 7.7 million, 9.1 in October. I showed you how they were growing. They have a 4.8 rating out of 5 on Trustpilot. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Trustpilot, although I find myself looking at them. I just, they have certain criteria that I don't think is important, like how long has the site been up? I think if you've been around, if you just came from an older site and made a new site, maybe you should get a little credit for that instead of being considered totally new. In any event, but 4.8 is pretty impressive. So they've been paying out a lot for a long enough time to have people really like them. And they work with traders from 150 different countries. And here's a little piece of that charting that I just showed you. Here's the $50,000 account. I'm going to stop right here and just ask, are you with me here? Are we good? Let me see if I've got, do you know? No, I don't. I know I don't, but you can Google it. Somebody said they love Apex. Questions. Are you with me? Shall I tend to move too fast. Are we good? Are we good here? Just give me a little bit of enjoyment here. Just let me know that you're with me. Yes, you can live in the UK. Larry, there's 150 different countries, so I can help you with that. I'll hold your hand and get you through it. Yep, good. Thank you. Okay, well, good. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Okay, so here's the $50,000 account. I mentioned their normal is $167. Right now, in fact, today's the last day. I'm not just saying that, but they've had it for several days, almost a couple of weeks. They're charging $1,670 for the first month and double that, so $33.40 every month after that if you need it. Your target is $3,000. Your drawdown is $2,500. Okay, and I won't get into. There's a little. I'll just read it to you. The peak of whatever your account has been at. When I talk about the trailing drawdown, how they measure the 2,500, they take the peak of whatever your account has been during the day, open trade equity. So if you put on a trade and you had $1,000 profit in it and you didn't do anything, you let it go to break even, and you're still at $50,000 in your account, your drawdown is going to be $1,000 less. Now it's only going to be $1,500 because you let go of that money that you had. Now that's a little, you can say, hey, that's bull. I mean, come on. There's a lot of break-even trades. Professional traders, and I've written trading plans for hundreds of them. Professional traders, they realize one thing, not one thing. One of the things they realize is that you don't want to give away profit, reasonable profit when you've achieved it. In other words, once that $1,000 trade was 500 or 600 or 700, you need to start defending it. Okay, and I'm going to show you. That's one of my keys. I'm going to show you a little bit about that more. But I wanted to mention that about Apex. They do that because they're looking for better traders, and it's not hard to be a better trader. You just have to slap yourself and say, hey, this makes all the sense in the world. Think of all the time. People don't jump out of windows when they lose money, or they jump out of windows when they could have made money and they didn't. They let go of a profit and they had it. That's when they jump. So I'm telling you, this is very important for you to get in your head, and that's, you need to defend a reasonable profit that you've created with the trade. I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a second, but that's it. That's it. Make 3,000 before you lose 2,500, and I like that. I like this. I used to recommend the 150. This, I think, has the best number. Look, 2,500 is a nice. It gives you some cushion, but a $5,000 gives you a lot more cushion. It's a lot more breathing room. Yes, they're asking you to make 9,000, which is 1.8% of a ratio here. Here it's they're only asking you for 20% more than your drawdown. So from that standpoint, this is still the best, and I like it the best because it's the easiest to pass, and you can get that money in your checking account most quickly. Once that happens, then your enthusiasm accelerates, and you start asking me questions like, tell me about the multiple accounts, how does that work, what have you achieved in that, and so on, and we can discuss that at a later date. But $150,000 account, I just like the cushion, which makes making 9,000 much easier. So these are the two that I do, but you can do any of them. Okay, so just wanted to show you that and show you that I've done my homework here, and I also want to give you a link. Use this link right here, thedisciplinedtrader.com/Apex. They gave me a special link that will always drive, and this is a forwarding link to that link that will always drive you to the best pricing they have. If you do it today, it'll drive you right to the 90% off that you'll get on the first month and 80% all previous month. It's the best deal they have. They have some, they're all good, 70%. Listen, you're not going to spend a lot of time in here if you're a good trader. And if you do, you're not getting killed with $30, $40, $50 a month. It's much better than losing your own money at a much more accelerated clip. So don't worry about it. But if you're a person who wants the best deal all the time, use this link, thedisciplinedtrader.com/apex, and then you'll be able to you'll know that you'll be driven to. I always forward these links to the best. They always give me a heads up on what it's going to be, and then I change the link to whatever that best shtick is that they're doing. Okay, so sorry, let me see what we're talking about here. This I don't need. All right, let's get to the keys that I wanted to talk to you about. Here are the two keys that I wanted to. I mentioned this one. I'm a twin, so I can put together. I'm the bad. There's always a good twin and a bad twin. Because I'm a futures trader, my relatives thought I was the bad twin for a while because that's gambling, and who's going to do that? But when you get the futures trading straight, it's a lot. It's no longer gambling, but it's a great living, and I want you to have that for yourself if you don't have it. So I want you to take at least 2 contracts upon entrance. Okay, the first contract is for scalping. Okay, the first contract is for scalping, and the benefit of that is that you're going to minimize your drawdowns, and you're going to capitalize on a jumpstart trigger. Let me stop there. If you have a trading plan that doesn't have a jumpstart trigger, you need to find one. And what I mean by a jumpstart trigger is a trigger that will, once you see it and hit your mouse to enter a trade, you have a high confidence, and I'm talking about something in the 70% area. You have a high confidence that you will have a movement in your favor very early in the first few minutes of that trade. Okay. And you can find one by testing it, finding in your experience what seemed to have been, and then test those 1 or 2 and find that jumpstart trigger. And because moves in your favor initially can reverse, or they can, of course, continue to be the big trade that you wanted it to be. But if you don't, if you don't have a jumpstart trigger to take the scalp, you're not going to get the head start. And I like that in what I've described to you before, because when you take a scalp, you're feeding the whipped cream on the drawdown. You're putting whipped cream on the drawdown. You're increasing or you're decreasing the drawdown. In other words, you're further from that red line when you take profit. You take profit, and all of a sudden that goes into your profit area. Okay, so you want that drawdown to because in my example, I made an example where you in a $50,000 account, you put on one position and it goes to $1,000. You don't take it; it goes to break even. Okay, and now instead of a $2,500 drawdown, you got a $1,500 because you let it go. But if you do what I've asked you to do, okay, and if you, for instance, if you have 2 positions at all times, at least 2 contracts at all times, okay, the first one is scalping. So in that first position, maybe you made $500. You take that first one as a scalp. You leave the other one that went to 1,000 and then came all the way back down. I wouldn't let you do that, but if you did do that, all of a sudden you would be padding your account with the scalp, and you would be and so the hurt from letting go of all of that money would be a lot less. So I like the fact that you include scalping. I love the fact, I insist on the fact that I've never done I've never been a scalper before I started the prop trading. I've never been a scalper. And so it's very important to understand that if you're not a scalper right now, it's very easy to do because you've thought about it before. The market goes up in your favor when you got a nice quick trigger, and boom, you take your profit and then let the other one go. And as it goes, then you defend that profit in other ways, using a trailing stop in the right place, so on and so forth. So you never want to let a profit go. I guess that's my thing. You want to capitalize on a jumpstart trigger to keep that red line away from you. Always putting money in the bank. It's kind of like that show. What's it? Where they go bank and whatever. I always think they bank too early, but there's in any event, it's another discussion. But listen, the idea is that first contract is a scalp. The second contract is for a runner. Okay, everybody wants the big winner, and you should, because you can. There's big winner happening today in the Japanese yen for me, and you want to let it expand. Okay, and of course, and you got to defend against that growing profit. You just don't want to have $1,000 open trade equity and let it go. That's not what a professional trader does. If they get stopped out and it wound up to, it would have been a $2,000 gain, fine. But they took their $900 when it was $1,000. They put their stop in. They took their and they're moving on to the next trade. Why? Because they got a nice jumpstart trigger, and they know that when they and a frequent jumpstart trigger, which is my favorite. Not only is it jumpstart, but it's frequent. And we have that in Loaded Gun, a couple of them. And so when you take that, it just pads that red line, okay, and minimizes the drawdown. Now, another primary benefit I can't help but mention this is that if you only put on one position and you get off to a good start, you're always asking yourself, should I scalp this and take it, or should I run? It looks like it's really going to go. When you start by design with two positions, you can take that first one out. Okay, and then let the other one go, and you've already made your decision before you've started, if you know what before you've started the trade. It's huge as far as keeping that cortisone level down, and it's huge if you want a growing bottom line. Okay, so this particular process I have found really works well with prop trading. Two contracts, one scalping, one for expansion. The other is taking smaller contracts and giving a wider range. I think I mentioned the most unappreciated thing in trading is the mental and emotional part of the game. Many times I'm the only speaker in a talk that not only emphasizes, that talks almost exclusively sometimes on the mental part of the game. And it's a shame, because really it's at least equal part. It's the reason most traders don't fail, don't succeed, because they have a pretty good trading plan, and pretty good will make you money. It's just that pretty good with lousy, I mean, very good with lousy discipline is not going to do you any good. So you gotta. So I like to work in things and processes in the trading plan that keep you away from the emotion. Okay, so take the smaller contracts and give yourself a wider range. Okay, smaller contracts, wider range, because you can put your stops in wider. Okay, the current market volatility demands that a position breathe. Now you can, if you're a currency trader in the futures market, you can trade I trade the euro dollar, and I also trade the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen is half of the pricing in dollar terms as the euro dollar, which means that a 10% move in one is twice the move of another. And so depending on how many contracts I want to put on, and if they're both moving in the direction that I want, and I have a choice of either one, I may take the Japanese yen and put on multiple contracts, because I see areas in the chart where I would be peeling off on the way up. So it gives me some flexibility. Okay, so you just have to understand that smaller contracts, especially things like the micro. There's a micro gold contract right now that I'll be talking about to people who I coach, and because I believe that gold maybe it's going to go one way or the other, but I believe it may be going much higher from my experience, and but I have to wait for the signal that it's going to do that. But small accounts don't have the capacity to take that on, but you can with micros. They're only 10-ounce contracts. Okay, so there are ways to take smaller contracts and still have a real bang for the buck. Okay, you're preventing whipsaw. Smaller contracts allow more contracts to be initiated and being scaled out. I've kind of mentioned that already, and it's also a good defense against drawdowns to be able to do that. Okay, those are my major keys. Think small. And think big, but act small. I think I said that right. And always take on two contracts. Treat one as a scalp and one as a runner. Okay. I want to show you what I got for you. I want to help you. I want to hold your hand through this And I want to get you through the qualification phase. And when you start earning money, get you through the earning phase, and at least be there for you until you get the first check, the first direct deposit into your checking account. Okay, and here's how I want to do that for you. Okay, it's called, I want to give you the loaded gun trading plans. I call it a simple trading plan because I'm going to show you a quick chart in a second, show you how simple it is. But you'll take a look at it and say, I can't believe it's this simple. But if you want effective, you also want simple, in my estimation and in my experience, and the people who are working with me now on this. You get the simple trading plan loaded gun starts with the core loaded gun trading plan. It's only it's only 2 videos and at 1 sheet of paper. You're asked to download a sheet of paper which has all the entry and exit rules on 1 sheet of paper. That's how simple it is. And it has 2 videos. Each one of them is about 45 minutes long. So it's about an hour and a half of training, so to speak, of some of the permutations, some of the things that can happen, and how you apply the rules at getting in and out. So it's a simple trading plan. It's not going to take you forever to learn with 10 videos. Okay. It fits on 1 sheet of paper. I also give you what I call nuances. Again, my thing is that I got to make the mental and emotional part easy for you and me. I did it for me, so I'm doing it for you. It's something to be proud of, believe it or not. There are currently 7 nuance videos. We're testing 2 more right now. A nuance is something that you can do in your trading, either the way you move a stop, or the way you apply a stop, or the way you put in a limit. Something that you can do in your trading that fits your personality and doesn't add any measurable, any significant risk. In other words, there are points at which the core trading plan will say exit the trade. But in certain formations, if you're seeing one of those formations, there is a nuance that you can do to move your stop just a little bit to stay in the trade and give yourself a little bit more chance to see it happen without adding more than a couple of ticks of risk. Okay, so the nuances are really personality fits. You see, this is why traders, successful traders who try to sell you trading plans, or give your friend who gives you a trading plan, somehow they were making all this money and you're not making any money, because it's not you. It doesn't fit you and who you are. You get too frustrated too fast. These nuances are there to help tailor this. I'll give you an example, another quick example. My accountant he is so patient. He waits and waits for he has a different kind of a trading plan, but he waits for all these indicators to fall into place, and he's lucky if he gets a trade off a day. I can't be like that. I want the action. Okay, I want to be in the game so that I can manage so if I got a trigger that puts me in the right place early, whether it continues or not, I've got a plan to help to make money from that, whether it backs off or not. So I'm looking at I'm looking at opportunities all the time. I want a trigger that is not only a quick trigger, but something that gets off to a quick start in my direction, but I want it frequent. So, everybody's different. These nuances will help you fit loaded gun trading plan, adjust it a little bit toward who you are. Okay, it's big. People love it. Okay, we have a Facebook group. It's not as active as I'd like because we have our Monday we have our meetings every month. Every last Wednesday of the month, we get together on our little boxes and we talk about the market and how we're doing. Any of the new people can ask questions. If I'm doing one-on-ones with them, so there's usually not a whole lot of questions. But sometimes we last meeting we had 2 people that never saw each other before in the meeting, and now they're talking to each other. One is from New Zealand, and the other is in Canada, and they're kind of trading buddies. So there's a lot of things that can happen when you're using the same trading plan and having similar successes and challenges. So this is what you get. But this is not it. I'm going to give you something else. Again, the monthly meetings, we share updates and experiences. So the core trading plan, the nuances, Facebook group if you do Facebook, and the monthly get-togethers. Okay, I want to give you one-on-one coaching for 90 days. I want to one-on-one. You and I will work on what you've learned from watching the 2 videos and the nuance videos and looking at some back testing. on your own, and then we'll meet once, twice, three times, as many times as you want to get this right, to get the trading plan right. Again, it's a simple trading plan, but I want to find out who you are, and I want to emphasize some of the do's and don'ts maybe for you based on who you are. I want to be there every step of the way. As soon as you invest in Loaded Gun, you're going to get an email with a calendar link. You'll be able to schedule your first one-on-one walkthrough with me. Then I'm going to proceed to learn about your trading background and advise you how to get a quick start on your new purchase. As you perfect the running of the plan, I'm still going to be there if you need me with as many one-on-one coaching sessions as you need to pass your evaluation and then get funded, and on and on. I'm meeting with somebody for the fourth time. He's already passed the evaluation, already had money in his account. And he had a question. I said, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I said, let's make a meeting. Anyway, I'll be there every step of the way for you. So we can do this together. I want to do this with you together. Okay. But there's a magic to one-on-one coaching, and I didn't want this to be lost in the shuffle here. The magic of the one-on-one coaching is that it's personalized. It's a tailored approach. I can listen. I can talk slow too, but I'm an action kind of guy that's on the fast track. But I love talking to more relaxed people who make me a little bit more relaxed. But it's a tailored approach. I can get into who you are as an individual. And again, I've written trading plans for hundreds of traders. I want to hear who you are. I want to match some of those nuances, or make sure that having you emphasize certain parts of the trading plan, because there's a couple of ways to get in and out of trades. Okay, so there's targeted goal setting. Okay, when you're one-on-one, there's immediate feedbacks. Sometimes you have a question or a process. You send somebody an email that you don't have access to it, or you put in a ticket. No, make another appointment, or you'll have email access to me anyway. So if it doesn't require an appointment, it's a quick question about how Apex works, or how Top Step works, or how any of this thing works. You just email me, and I'll. If you've ever emailed me, I don't know if anybody has worked with me, but put in the chat if you have. I get back to you almost right away, within minutes sometimes. I'm always looking at my email to see if anybody has any questions. I'll even shoot a 2-3 minute video to answer your question. I love to do that. This way I don't have to sit there and work. So I'll throw on a Zoom video and send you the video. So it's immediate feedback, okay, when we're working one-on-one, and if you need me by email. Confidentiality and trust. Look, every trader is different. I don't like my particular information spread. When we work together, I'm not going to show you my account numbers. I have a certain privacy that I have, and I think you probably do too. We need to trust each other, and we need to learn about each other, and you get that from working with each other. So there's that confidentiality and trust piece. Also, one-on-one coaching. Incidentally, that 90 days, you can start it whenever you want. In other words, you can look through all the training materials on Loaded Gun. Look at a lot of the past meetings that we've had. I've recorded all of them if you don't attend the meetings, so that you can catch on some of the other things that we've been doing with Loaded Gun. You can do that, but you can also shoot me an email, and it's tailored. And also, I want to one-on-one coaching allows you to have a tailored learning style. Okay. Again, I want to find out your experience level. I want to know the detail person. Are you a detailed person like my accountant, or you're kind of right to the point like me? Although he's right to the point, but it takes him a while to get to the point. One other thing, I didn't finish my point about the 90 days. You can start that anytime you want. Look at the material, get a basis for between now and the holidays and the first of the year, get a good feeling for that, and then boom, right before the holidays end, or January 5th or whatever, then have your first meeting. Your 90 days will start. Then I don't count the 90 days. I don't say, hey, it's the 91st day, sorry. No, you're giving your confidence to me, your trust to me. I'm going to give it back to you. I want you to succeed at this. Prop trading, it's crazy good. But you got to be doing it, okay? Flexibility of scheduling, okay, when you're working one-on-one. You look at my calendar. It's not we're not meeting Wednesday. Everybody meeting. Listen, our Wednesday meetings, not everybody can attend, and I'm sorry for that. It's Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'll change it a little bit, but Wednesday at 4, last Wednesday of the month at 4 o'clock, I know some people aren't or can't make that. okay, but they can listen to the recording, and that seems to be fine for them. But for real issues, you want to talk to me one-on-one. Flexibility. It's your. Take a look at my calendar. Yes, I'm giving you alternatives, but from all those alternatives, you can choose whatever flexibility works for you. And the depth of exploration, I get to talk to you and uncover really the root causes. There used to be something in selling years ago. When I was working for Payne Weber, that was really a sales organization. And we had something we called reversing, where somebody would say, well, I'm not sure I like that stock. And then when I say, instead of just responding to it, I would say, when you say like, what do you mean? I take the last part of what they say and I ask them about it. And they say, well, I lost, I lost money in a stock like that. When you say a stock like that, what do you mean? It's a high beta stock, and I don't like. Okay, let's stay away from. So I get to the root. Now I see what you want. Now I can fulfill what you need. I can get to by training one-on-one with you, by you working with me one-on-one on these meetings. I can ask you questions in the right way to uncover the root cause of why you haven't been succeeding so far, and get you back on the track on using Loaded Gun to succeed. Okay. Enough said about that. Okay. And accountability. I think that I put that in caps because it's probably the main feature of any one-on-one trading. When you meet with me, you may have questions about, so I'll answer those questions. I may give you an assignment, or I may not, whatever, but I'll ask you to concentrate on this. I may ask you to watch one of the videos over again, or whatever I ask you, but you're accountable to somebody. I know that for me, whenever I've had coaches, and I've had many of them in my life, it's all about accountability. And when you have to go back to somebody and say, I didn't do it, sheepishly, you don't want to do that. So you do it. You force yourself to do some of the things you wouldn't normally do. Work with me one-on-one, okay? It's the magic of one-on-one. I want to give you 90 days with me, unlimited sessions. I just don't want you to think that I'm not there for you. I want to be there for you to get you through this. Okay, here's some important words. The Loaded Gun is simple to understand, set up with easy to follow rules that work in any market and work with any time frame. Takes me less than 5 minutes a day 5 minutes in the morning to look at all the markets I trade and make a plan for the day. First, I test the Loaded Gun. Test the Loaded Gun and trade in sim. In this case, you'll be trading with evaluation to build your confidence. I want you to go right to the evaluation when you've got a handle on it, and then you'll go live. Examine all of the included nuances and then test them to see if they improve your returns. After that, most importantly, follow the rules and join. This is Ted. He was an experienced trader before, but he's even a better trader now. But I wanted to show you a little bit about how some love the nuances. And Alan, who's a real estate developer, when real estate is a little slow like now, he's really a full-time trader. Your processes are usable by every trader for every trading style to guide each of us in creating our own personalized systems. The tools you've helped me create increase my profit, win ratio, confidence, and most of all, my job satisfaction. As a full-time trader, that's been the greatest benefit of all. Well, I chose this out of all the testimonials because he was brave enough to use the word profits. A lot of testimonials you see out there, oh, this really looks good, I can't wait to dig into it. Hey, I want to know, does it result in profit, win ratio, confidence? Yes, it has, and it does. And it has for Alan, it can for you. Okay, this is one that I put in just recently. This is a chart. See this Thursday here? This is the last December. This was on a Saturday. The following Thursday, he had already learned Loaded Gun. You can see how simple the chart is. He had already learned Loaded Gun and already made his trades. He says I've been trading Loaded Gun, took the attached trade, it's top step, have a great holiday. So he's already making money enough to pay for his account with me. So it's just, this is really the only chart I'm going to show you. I just want to show you how simple it is, some of the things that I do, very simple. But I wanted to show you in that particular case here that from a 5-day period, he zipped through the material and he's already trading profitably. So it doesn't take long once you make a commitment. Okay, I'm also going to set it up for you. That's my other bonus. Okay, it's a done for you setup for your data feed and the trading platform. Apex and Top Step, the two that I'm recommending, have a more advanced setup that can be confusing to some tech challenge traders like me. Okay, and so I'll connect you with my young genius, the guy I mentioned before, who did that study for me. I originally had him do his setup for me. He's going to jump into your computer with one of those computer sharing things. You're going to sit back and watch his mouse go all around, and he's going to set everything up for you. So all you have to do is start trading. Okay, I don't want this to get in your way. Sometimes the setup, if you're not using NinjaTrader, if you're not using haven't used the platform you're using, and you're setting up, and you have to set up the data feed with them, it can get confusing and frustrating. He's going to do it for you. I'm going to include that with you. So all you have to do is watch him set it up for you. Okay, Roger, who actually paid $150 for this service, he said, all in all, it really went well. Brady is obviously skilled, as the guy's name, has his cursor darted back and forth without an explanation. Ended up feeling like I had gotten a bargain. I'm including it for you in this. Okay, so here's the entire setup. Okay, the loaded gun trading plan, all the nuances, the Facebook group, the monthly get-togethers that I mentioned to you, the unlimited coaching for 90 days. We're gonna work together one-on-one to get you, and I'm gonna hands-on set up for you for the data feed. One more thing, my guarantee. I'm so confident that you're going to follow that you're following the loaded gun simple trading plan will result in you getting funded by your prop firm, so that you risk your money and not their money, not yours, and yet get 90% of the profit you generate. Just share your trading experience with me, and you followed the simple rules, and it didn't work for you, and I will not only refund your money, I'll give you $500 for your trouble. This is an ironclad guarantee. Why do I do this? Because I'm going to work with you. I'm going to make sure you got it down. Okay, so here's my offer: loaded gun simple trading plan, the bonus of the one-on-one coaching for 90 days. And if you can start that anytime you want, okay? You can commit to this now, learn whatever you want, and start that 90-day one-on-one with me whenever we have our first meeting. I want to set it all up for you, and it's a total value of $5,200. Right now, if you go to our site, it's $2,497 without this setup that I've offered you here in this special presentation. I want to give you 50% off. $1,247 is all you will invest to work with me one-on-one to get you funded for whatever size account you want. Okay, their money, yourprofit.com. Use the passcode PASSNOW. Okay, use the passcode PASSNOW. And there's a limited 10 traders now. And why is that? Because that one-on-one coaching takes a lot of time, and I can't. I'm one person. That I'm not handing you off to one of my associates. I'm doing this for you in this offer for you. So together we can do this. Let's do this together. Their money, yourprofit.com. Use the coupon code PASSNOW. That'll give you the 50% off, $1,247. Let's do this together, and let's make it happen. Thank you, David, for allowing me to fill every minute of my hour.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you, Norman.
All right. Sorry I wasn't able to take any questions. I'm just seeing if there's any flash questions. Okay, I see you've got that up there. Appreciate that. I like the $50,000 account. Again, if you go to my site, thedisciplinetrader.com, you can ask me questions in the chat area there. Or if you go to this page right here, Their Money, Your Profit, that's the best way to do it. Go to this page, and I'll be on the chat. There's a chat on the lower right-hand corner, so we can chat and ask any questions. Thank you again, David.